You're in the right place at the right time if you're interested in wealth, in never having to worry about money again ever, and having more than enough money than you know what to do with. Now, it might not necessarily be millions and millions, and doesn't need to be. And hopefully, this gives you a clear picture. Now, before we get started, I must say that the most productive thing a human could do is increase your level of consciousness to that of love and gratitude, and have love and gratitude for all things and all people. And money is not going to be worth much without that love and connection. Yet, that is not what this discussion is about. We're going to get deep into it. The laws of wealth. Easy money with the laws of wealth. Now, this is worth more than giving you hundreds of thousands of dollars, because that amount of money is nothing compared to the freedom of knowing that you can create that money anywhere, anytime, any place on God's green earth. So, listen up and grab your notepad, whether you're listening or you're reading this as a book. Grab your notepad, share it with others, listen with others, create study groups. It's simple, yet don't mistake simplicity for efficiency, because simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. And that's a quote from, I believe, Leonardo da Vinci. So, the biggest hindrance to learning is thinking that you already know. So clear your mind and realize there's always more to learn. Wealth consciousness is by far the number one law. Your attitude about wealth. And you could break it down to the acronym BEATS: beliefs, emotions, attitudes, awareness, attention, thoughts, and subconscious mind. You could think of it really simply like bet, belief, emotion, thought. Or the simplest way of thinking about is, where's my attention going to? And to get to your goal of wealth, you must know a crystal clear goal. You must have in mind a crystal clear goal. And really, it should be written, and this should be your gold card. Have your goal written, and have maybe 1,000 or 5,000 goals written really in a notebook. Yet your top goals should be visualized often, crystal clear, a vivid visualization of your goal, and feel it with all of your senses. A SMART goal: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. With all of your senses. Add the S to the SMART goal. All of your senses. So you feel it, you taste it, you smell it, you see it, you hear it, you could feel it kinesthetically. This is vital to getting to your goal, is having the wish fulfilled, as Neville Goddard says. Feeling the wish fulfilled. So knowing what your wish is and feeling it already. Have it before you have it, because to those that have, more shall be given, and to those that have not, the little they have will be taken away. And that is much more about how we are spiritually and mentally than physically. When you are spiritually and mentally rich, then you will be physically rich. It is be, do, have are the three laws of the universe, really. Be, do, have. Or one law, but we could say it's a 3-step process to one law. Be, do, have, not have, do, be. You become the person that does the thing, that has the stuff. Let me say that one more time. You become the person that does the thing, that has the stuff. So you must shift your internal clock and calibrate your subconscious mind and your beliefs, emotions, thoughts to that of being the set goal that you have, whether it's a millionaire, a billionaire, a trillionaire, or making six figures, which is ridiculously a lot of money comparatively to the entire world. Sometimes we get a little skewed by where we are, maybe in the United States or any affluent place, and thinking that $100,000 is not much. Yet, if you have a car, then you're in the top 10% of the world. If you make $40,000, you're again in the top 10% of the world. You could check the statistics, yet half the world lives off of $2 a day. So inherit your current wealth. Inherit your current wealth and realize how much you have. Even if you have what you think of as nothing, you have the sun, moon, stars, and sky. And we can't ask for much more than that. And when you realize you're rich, true wealth is knowing there's no difference between a rock and gold. And I'm sitting here with stacks of silver and gold to hit silver. Yet, when you realize that we create value, then you can create value for other people by solving problems for other people, because there are always problems in the world and our mind is meant to solve problems. And there's a way where you can deliver that value, aka solve a problem, so much more beautifully and easier than other people can. Just one chapter ahead is very helpful to be of another person, because then it's easy to hold their hand. Sometimes if you're too far ahead, it's too hard to hold their hand. BFF. Belief, focus, and freedom. Belief, focus, and freedom. What is your belief? What is your focus? And be free with it, because when you attach to an outcome or a goal or the process of the goal or a certain situation, then you are asking for suffering. Attachment is suffering. Attachment is anger. Attachment is no fun zone. So detach from the specifics and enjoy your intention with no attachment to the outcome. Again, let me repeat that and write it down. Enjoy your intention with no attachment to the outcome. Have purpose with why power. It's not really willpower that's going to get you there, because motivation is only going to take you so far. Inspiration comes from the word inspire, to breathe deep. So breathe deep often. That could change your whole attitude. Yet when you have why power, as in why you're doing this, for your child, for your parents, for your country, for your state, for your culture, for your religion, for yourself, for your God, for your inner spirit, for who you know you can be, for your wife that you see or your husband that you see in the future that may not be here or is here now or was there. Whatever your why power is, tap into it. Get into that purpose to help millions of people. Millions of people. Because you never know how many people you're going to touch when you leave your legacy. You're creating a legacy here. So this is about consciousness and changing your identity. This is law number 1, is identity shift. Wealth consciousness. Have the attitude, the beliefs, the emotions, the attitude, the awareness and attention, the thoughts, and the subconscious mind that is in alignment with wealth. And when I say subconscious mind, that means the people that you're surrounded with, the places, right? So the sounds, the memories that you have, your subconscious is deep. Media could play a big part. What you see, the sounds you hear, So, what are you programming yourself with? You've been programmed, yet you can reprogram yourself. Your subconscious mind gets programmed by deep, deep thoughts that are charged emotionally when you're relaxed. So, meditation helps you reprogram your mind, especially when you prime the meditation, saying something like, I am rich, I am beautiful, I am strong, I am consciousness experiencing consciousness. I am here to experience, not control. I detach, I let go. I intend, I am rich, I am beautiful, I am strong, I am happy, healthy, wealthy. You deserve to be happy, healthy, and wealthy. It is your birthright. And letting go of the thoughts and the programming that are not in alignment with that, like I hate the rich, or money doesn't grow on trees, or I don't deserve to be wealthy, or dirty, filthy money. All of those things must be changed to that of alignment to wealth consciousness. Law number 2. And law number 1, that 11 minutes, 11 seconds is just whew, listen to it many times, because there's a very little chance that you got all of it. You only hear what you're ready to hear. The lips of the righteous are sealed to the ears of the misunderstanding. The lips of the wise, the wisdom, are sealed to the ears of the misunderstanding. That's one of the first lines of the Kabbalion written by the 3 initiates. And the consciousness, your consciousness, your beliefs create so much of the details of your life. Everything is a belief. Okay, number 2, create or buy assets to pay for liabilities. Until you have enough assets to pay for your liabilities, stop buying or spending money on liabilities. You may be thinking, what does that mean? Great. Let me explain. The less you know, the better, because the more you will learn and understand it crystal clear without so many confusing aspects. I'm going to just take the fluff out and keep it simple. Superhero. An asset gives you money all the time, whether it's every day or every month or every week or every year. An asset is paying you, period. And a liability is something that you pay for. It takes money out of your pocket. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket. Say it with me. An asset puts money in your pocket, and liability takes money out of your pocket. It's as simple as that. It's no need to confuse it. Examples of an asset. One of my favorite assets is a book or art or music or painting, because you create it once and then you can sell it millions and millions and millions and millions of times. It is astonishing. I'm amazed that how beautiful that is and how efficient it is, because I love to buy books and I learned so much from a 10 or $1 or 50-cent investment, or it could be $100. uh, I don't I don't know the most expensive book I've paid, but I look forward to paying $1,000 for a book, because I've read books that are 50 cents that are buying them used, and they're well worth thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars with the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding they have. As King Solomon asked God, when God said, "What would you like?" He said, "Knowledge, wisdom, understanding." And when he asked for that, he became the richest man in the universe, a trillionaire to our day's standards. So, assets are amazing, and the greatest asset is yourself. So, investing in knowledge, wisdom, and understanding will help you to be able to actually understand what value is. And really, to me, value is appreciation. And the word appreciate is to increase value. And appreciate is also to give thanks for, which is increasing value. So when we constantly give thanks for what we have, who we are, and what we're getting, then we're constantly increasing the value. So appreciate and create assets. It's not just books, art, music. It's also homes, real estate, simple as stock. And so many people don't buy stock, but they buy the products of which. So an example is most of us have a simple way of getting stock right now, and it only gets simpler. It used to be very challenging to buy stock. Right now, you could have money in Cash App, which we pay each other with, and you could easily buy stock. And the great thing is you could do it with the press of a button with $1. You could buy Apple. And we think $1 isn't much, but if you keep investing the dollar, then it starts to really accumulate. And the amazing thing is $1, if you had a 20% annual percentage return, you made 20% every year, $1 would turn into $1 million within 78 years. And you may be thinking that's a long time, 78 years. It is. Or you may be thinking 20% is a big return. It is. Yet we live 78 years, and that'd be crazy cool to have thought $1 million from a dollar in 78 years. And 20% is attainable. At least Warren Buffett has gotten that, one of the greatest investors of all time. So we may not compare with that yet. The S&P 500, which is the top 500 stocks at the current moment, either globally or just the United States, S&P Global or S&P US S&P, and there's many variations of the S&P 500. But it's amazing that over the past 40, 50 years, it's been 8% on average. That's huge gain. So if you use the rule of 72, and this is created by Einstein, Einstein said that compounding is the greatest power in the universe. And the rule of 72 is you take the interest rate, so 8% interest past 40 years on average S&P 500 divided by 72 is what, 7 or 8? And that means that every 7 or 8 years you double your money. And the more money you start to accrue, oh man, it becomes a snowball effect. And most people are on the opposite side of this amazing compounding interest, because if you're late with credit cards, you will have to pay 30% interest on that money. And some people just pay it because they don't think it's that much, but it compounds and you're only paying small amounts, and it just builds and builds and builds. So it's really a vital thing to get on the side of assets and not spend money on liabilities like buying food. Every dollar counts until you can have assets and not worry about the dollars, because you have so much sense that you have a lot of dollars. What this means is you spend as little as possible. And that's an amazing thing, because you start to realize you could get more value for your money and better deals by just spending a few more moments shopping around. Right now, you could even use AI like ChatGPT to find better deals and even input value codes. Like I was buying glasses the other day and said, ChatGPT, find me a code for Glasses USA to get me the best deal. And it worked. It just takes a little time. And then you get to invest more in assets. You may be thinking, I don't have any money for assets, but again, $1 towards a stock. You may have an iPhone. If you invested all the money, instead of buying iPhones, then you'd be able to have a lot of money. Let me give you this comparison right quick. If you bought every iPhone since they came out, it would be $22,000. If you invested all the money at the same exact time in iPhones, then you would have over $250,000 in stock. Now, you don't need to make such extreme decisions yet. Invest $1 right now in your favorite company or the S&P 500 and do it on Cash App or Robinhood or whatever app or platform you'd like to use. Yet start buying stocks and start investing money the best you could. You could also buy silver, which has gone up like 3x over the past like year, which means if when I started buying silver it was $25 an ounce, and 2-3 years later now it's $100 an ounce or $80 an ounce. It fluctuates. Yet money is always going down in value. Money itself is a liability. You want to be able to serve people, help people. So invest money so that you could help people. You could buy land, you could buy homes, you could buy things that people really enjoy that solve a problem for them and buy a good amount of them and then sell them. You could create something that solves a problem like a book or music, entertainment. Once you get attention, that really is a form of solving a problem. Because if people are giving you attention, you're doing something for them. Now, this is a great thing to write out in a notebook, in your financial notebook, in your goal notebook, your goals, and then write out how you can serve people. A great prayer that King Solomon said was, how can I serve people in a way that pleases the Lord? So pray that. You could also buy assets, lower or eliminate your liabilities until your assets pay for your liabilities. Buy stocks if you buy the products, so you could have ownership. When you have ownership, it's like I own Apple, I own part of Airbnb, I own part of Boeing, I own part of Google, right? You want to be able to own some of these stocks, and some of these stocks like Apple right now are $1 trillion companies that are worth more than a lot of countries. Yet there has been companies like that in history that have fallen. So be sure that you feel good about the company, and that you are in a way ready to lose that money. That's how you start investing in stocks, is ready to lose the money, have no attachment. And also, don't get so emotional that if the stocks drop, you don't want to sell it right away. You probably want to buy more if you believe in the stock, because you are sealing your losses when you sell a stock when it drops. When it's up, when it's high, that's when you want to sell. When it's low, that's when you want to buy. And you could look at the charts of these stocks. Best bet is to just invest a certain amount, a small amount, like 10% or less, or 10% of your income or what you make every week, every month. Invest 10% of that in the stock or asset of your choosing. If it's a stock, then you could do that every month regularly and diversify, meaning get different ones so that if one goes down, it's not all of your funds, all of your assets, or all of your stocks. Another thing that's nice, if you're thinking about putting a lot into a stock, make sure it is low in the charts and that its history shows that it will rise again, like the S&P 500. If it's low, buy it, because it most likely is going to rise again unless we have collapse globally, which then, you know, all the money in the world isn't going to do much because it's a collapse. Yeah, usually in financial collapses, people with a good amount of money end up buying stocks and assets when they're really low, when other people are freaking out selling them, and then they make a lot of money from it. As Warren Buffett has said, one of the greatest investors of all times, he said, when stocks are low, it's the only time people are like trying to return stuff when it's on sale. It's on sale and you're trying to return it, you're trying to sell it, you're trying to get rid of it. Instead, buy more. And again, 10% of all of your income invested is a general rule of thumb, also noted in The Richest Man of Babylon, a great book, and many other investment books also recommend tithing, or 10% of your income towards investing, and 10% of your income tithing is towards 10% towards spiritual blessings and spiritual teachers, including churches, temples, or your own spiritual choosing. And some say that it is also, the 10% could be towards giving towards people in need. Some people say that's a completely different thing. But it has been noted that that is a law of wealth. I think I have that as a separate law, actually. Study compounding with AI or any type of technology and get your number to understand how much money it would take to get to $1 million at 8% interest. So you prompt AI saying, hi, however old you are, say it would be great if you're really young. So I'm 16 or 18 or 22 or 24 or 62. But again, hopefully you're really young hearing this, because compounding works great with time. So you say I'm 18 or 8 years old if you're doing it for your child, or hopefully you're 8 years old listening to this, and you put in 18 and I'd like to get to $1 million. How much money do I need to put down right now if I have an 8% return to get to $1 million at age 60? And it'll actually give you that number, and you could write, okay, now how much do I need to invest every month instead of a one-time thing? Because it might be $22,000. You might think, ooh, that's a little much. And then you could just do monthly. But start investing. Make money while sleeping. That's what an asset is to make money while sleeping. Number 3, use credit and pay in full, unless using a 0% APR credit card, which will be offered once you get to a 700 credit score or more. But use credit cards. Credit is worth so much money. Everyone that has a house, 95% of them have bought it using credit. So use credit, get credit cards. Once you get a credit card, always sign up for automatic bill payment and pay in full. That is the first rule of credit card: pay in full. Don't spend more than you could pay off, and start building up your credit. Then you're going to get a 0% APR credit card, and you could buy an asset as long as you know for sure. I mean, everything's a low risk, but you know pretty much for sure, 90% sure, that you're going to get that money back. And then you could do the minimum payment and have 0% APR for 12 to 18 months. It's an amazing, amazing play, and it builds wealth. Have 3 to 5 credit cards, pay them in full. And when you are using your credit cards, when you're doing that APR, 0% APR play, make sure you do not use over 30% of what they give you. So if you are given $10,000, you don't want to use more than $3,000. Number 4 of the law of wealth is build up your milli math. So an example of millionaire math is 1,000 times 1,000 equals 1 million. And you could have that be the $100,000 math too. If $100,000 or six figures is your goal, then you would say 100 times 100 is $100,000. That's as easy as it is to make $100,000. Just sell something worth $100 100 times. To make a million, sell something worth $1,000 1,000 times, and you'll make a million. And you could switch that zero over, so $10,000. If you have something that you make $10,000 with, all you need to do is sell it 100 times, or sell something 10 times worth $10,000. So you could move that zero around and create your millionaire math. Create 4 offers is another way of getting to that million. Something under $100, something under $1,000, something under $10,000, and a reoccurring offer. This is in your notebook of how to serve people. Under $100, maybe a book or a CD. Under $1,000, maybe a course or a program. Under $10,000, maybe you're actually coaching someone for a year, or providing a service that you really love. Because we don't want to trade our time for money yet. It's also nice to be of service to people and know exactly what you'd like to get paid for the service you're doing, especially if you'd love to do it even for free. Yet you create a number that you wish to get for your service, and then it becomes a beautiful dream life. Perfect that offer. Have an affiliate program. You can be an affiliate. You can perfect something that someone else does. You can have affiliate to sell something that someone else has. That could be one of your offers. Learn how to accept money, though, and manage other people's money is another great way of making money. There's so many ways to make money and get paid while you're sleeping. Write down in a notebook all of the ways that you can service people or your offers. Write number one and get up to 1,000 offers that you have for people, and start offering. How may I serve people in a way that pleases you, Lord? You could have products, service, information. All sales are based on an emotional state. So, how can you change someone's emotional state? It could be with entertainment, art, information, products, or services. That is law 4. Let's move on to law number 5. Remove limiting programming. You may, and this goes really back to law number 1, right? Is your wealth consciousness. You may be a victim of a situation, or jealous, or hate millionaires, or being poor versus rich, or even wanting in the lack of. That creates space when you want. You're in lack of. That's another translation for want. So when you want something and you're so attached to it, you create space. Have it before you actually have it. Have it mentally and spiritually before you have it physically. Because there's what Tony Robbins says is the SSS, I call it, right? Your strategy is vital, yes, yet it's about 10%. Strategy is great, yet the story you have about yourself, like if you're a victim or a victor, is going to change the game. And the story you create could make you a victim or a victor. The same exact situation could rise someone up or throw them down in the ground. And that changes your state, which is the last S. If you get in a state of wealth consciousness, nothing can stop you. Your strategy could be off, yet you will figure it out, because you will get the mental nudges and hunches and intuition if you're on the right frequency, because frequency defies logic. And if you're in the right frequency, you will get the right intuition. Tap into the cosmic consciousness or infinite intelligence inside of you, and you will know exactly what to do. Bet. Again, I'm going to say the sixth law is bet, and again say beliefs, emotions, thoughts, because belief is currency. Emotions are your GPS or God's positioning system, and thoughts are your flashlights. What are you giving attention to at this current moment? That's your flashlight. That's what you see. You have a reticular activating system, which actually eliminates, edits, and predicts what you're going to see in your brain. It's for your safety, yet it also can inhibit you from the greatness that you have within, because we're here to experience, not control. Every experience is great. Consciousness is here to experience consciousness. So you may be here enjoying your poverty, yet you have a birthright of wealth, and you can have it if you claim it. Ask and you shall receive. Knock on the door shall open. Seek and you shall find. Law number 7, make a list of assets and liabilities. This is a little bit of repetition here, huh? Even though it's a different law, make a list of assets and liabilities. This is better than a spend and earn or income versus bills list, because when you start to understand your assets, that makes or breaks the game. No one's going to be truly wealthy if they don't have assets, because then they're always trading their time for money. And when you trade for time for money, it's only worth so much, even if you're getting millions per hour. It's amazing to be able to get millions while you sleep. Seeing how much comes in assets, it helps you, not income, because that gets you on a path to making while you are sleeping, right? Don't just think of income, but look at assets. Like, not just how much you make as a salary or selling your time, but look at how much you make with your assets. You are your greatest asset. I must remind you, invest in yourself. So is time. Time is infinitely more valuable than money. Money and yourself are like the greatest assets in the world. Excuse me. You and time are the greatest assets in the world, worth way more than money. Time is infinitely more valuable than money. You trade all the money in the world for another minute. Study and dedicate time to study, right? Read books, read more books about this subject and consciousness, so you can create your own reality. Like in my other book, Reality Recreation, written by Dr. Keith J. Lopez. Number 8 is tithe. I already told you about this. Tithing, to give freely with not attachment, like you are so happy to give 10% of your money to those who help you unite to the one, to consciousness. Currency is to give. To give is to receive. And this actually goes to all of the time when you're spending money, when you're exchanging money. Always be grateful to give the money. This is really a part of wealth consciousness, is to be happy to give money, because what you give is what you get. And if you give in a state of like, I don't want to spend this money, then that's how it's going to come to you, not so quickly. One of my favorite affirmations is money comes to me easily, frequently, and abundantly. And I also give money easily, frequently, and abundantly. It's such a beautiful thing. Number 9 in the law of wealth is to meditate, visualize, affirm, and ritualize this for riches. Meditate, be still, and process all the information you get throughout the day. One of the greatest things you could ever do is meditate in silence, just sitting there still for 20 to 30 minutes a day, once or twice a day. If that's challenging, start off with 1 minute. and prime yourself with a meditation, with an affirmation. I am rich. I am happy, healthy, wealthy, strong. I am happy, healthy, and wealthy, right? I let money flow to me. Money comes to me easily, frequently, and abundantly. I am consciousness experiencing consciousness. I am pure love. I know my identity is love and consciousness. Number 10, enjoy what you do, love what you do, and do what you love. Love the life you live the life you love, and feed the life you love. If paid for your time, make it fun and worth it. Number 11, your health and happiness is true wealth, and without it, your health is worthless. Or you spend it all on health,